You are listening to the Fairways and Fundraising podcast, powered by Golf Event Planning, discussing charity fundraising and successful golf outings, along with tips and tricks of the trade. Now here's your host, Larry Battaglia.
Hello, and welcome to Fairways and Fundraising, powered by Golf Event Planning. I'm your host, Larry Battaglia. This is episode number 28. Thank you for listening. Today we have a special remote session, quarantine edition. We are still in quarantine, slowly coming out of it in New York. We're in phase 3 on Long Island, phase 2 in New York City. So we do see a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's just nice to be with you guys. Today we have on Zoom a good friend of ours, and we had an earlier podcast, I believe it was episode number 3. He's our memorabilia partner, Triple Crown Charity Fundraising, Mr. Bobby Ross. How you doing, Bobby?
Doing well, Larry. Great to be back. Feel honored to be on a second time with you guys. Really excited to talk to you.
Yeah, no, thanks, and really excited to talk to you, and I appreciate your time today. And yes, you are a two-timer. You are my second two-timer so far, episode 28. So, we're happy to have made it 28 episodes now, and just trying to provide some great content for people out there. And now we're in this pandemic and the world has changed, and there's certain things now that, not only personally, but as businesses that we have to rethink and we have to readjust. And that's part of our discussion today. So first, how are you and your family during this whole pandemic? Everybody's safe, I hope.
Yeah, so thank you very much for asking. We're all good. We've been very, very careful, doing a lot of the Instacarting instead of going into the stores, just being very careful with the masks and social distancing and just doing whatever we can. Most important thing at this point is to hopefully just stay healthy, and everything else will just hopefully fall into place over time. So, and I hope you and your family are doing well as well.
Yeah, and thank you. We are, and that's most important. And from a business side, you mentioned a word there, Instacart, and, people ordering basically from their phones. And part of this leads into our business discussion about the word virtual. And you and I are doing a few things here together with our software, EventHub, and your company, Triple Crown Charity Fundraising, with virtual auctions.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very exciting. Very important thing that we have to do now is we have to regroup and we have to pivot, not only look at the new norm, but accept it and know that there's a lot of variables out there that we don't know exactly what will be happening in the months to come or the years to come, but things will be different. And with the virtual auction fundraising, remote registration. These are aspects of our businesses that are going to have staying power regardless of when things come back to the new norm, because they're just great technological advancements, great added value to all the events that we do. It's part of the new world. So I'm very excited to be involved in all these things.
Just to explain a little bit further, so some of our listeners are our clients and they've worked with us, so they've seen our EventHub digital check-in app. It's really cool, where if you go to a golf outing that we run or a walk or a gala perhaps, you'd be checking in on an iPad. So as Bobby just mentioned, there's a couple of new features now that we've had to create to basically adjust to this new norm. And one of those is a remote style check-in. So instead of somebody coming up to a table at your event and checking in on an iPad that maybe individuals have touched, or coming to a table where a volunteer is trying to find, your name on a piece of paper, and then there's maybe a line and there's a gathering. What we did is we created a remote style check-in where every golfer or guest would get a text message from our system right to their mobile device, and they can click on the link in that message and they can remotely check in on their own mobile device into the event, and it would tell them what table assignment they're sitting at if it's a gala, or what hole assignment they're starting on if it's a golf outing. So that's really cool and something that I think is relevant now. It's also a very responsible thing to do as an event planner, But then the other feature, which we're really excited about, and I know, Bobby, you are too, which we're going to now discuss, is the
Definitely.
virtual auction component, which we've added over the last few months and recently launched in a socially distant golf outing, and it was a success. The beauty of it is you can bid anywhere on your phone. So this can be launched prior to the event, at the event. You can communicate with people via text messaging. It's really a game changer. So, Bobby, I know you're really excited to start doing the digital bidding.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal technological advancement, and I think it's necessary in these times. And there are just incredible multiple advantages to this technology. Like you said, people could check out items and bid on items prior to the event, which could not have been done before. They could be bidding on them remotely. They do not even have to be at the event, but you could still get participation. The word can hopefully be spread over social media. You could get people involved in the event that might not even know the charity. And all of a sudden they learn about the charity. They could be a potential donor to the charity, and they could bid on items and help raise money that day for the event. It's also exciting for the people that are actually at the event because they bid on an item. If they get outbid, they get the notification. They don't have to be near the auction. There's no pen and paper. It's a different type of animal, and it's the kind of thing that I think between everything going on right now, it's going to have major staying power. It's definitely going to be here to stay now.
Yeah, and with EventHub, it's really easy to add these items into the system for people to bid. And that's something, Bobby, you can upload your entire catalog in there, 20, 30 items, 40 items, whatever it is. Why don't we talk about how easy it is to get the items in there and the components of the bid increments and the buyout bids?
Definitely. It's very easy. It's very user-friendly. It's a great product. What we do is the charities themselves will always have very nice items that they might want to put into the auction. All we need is just the images of the items that we could take for the charities and just, any kind of name, description, the bids, the bid increments. We put them right on there. We always showcase the charities items first, just because, we want the bottom line to be the best it can for the charity, for their event. And then we fill in the cracks and complement their great donations with items of ours. May it be the sports or the entertainment memorabilia, any kind of art, jewelry, handbags, unique experiences, to just really round out the whole auction, let everyone have an opportunity to hopefully be interested in something and bid on something with just a very nice variety and a really wide range in price point, so nobody feels that they have to spend a certain amount. Every dollar adds up. Putting the items on is very easy. They look great. It's a very nice visual. It's been very well received so far. I keep getting great feedback, and it's just going to keep growing.
Well, I think it's a great partnership between EventHub and Triple Crown Charity Fundraising. I mean, you have such a great array of items and the digital software component now where you can upload those items right into the system and people can bid right on their phones. We can launch it prior to the event so that we can generate that buzz and excitement. And going back to the social distance golf outing that we had a few months back, we weren't able to have a gathering or even a display table. And here we were able to upload these items in. You added all the items, and then we added items from the organization. So it was a combination of the two. And I'll never forget it. I mean, there's golfers out there, they're playing golf and they're looking at their phone and they're saying, oh, I got my eye on number 3, number 5, I just got outbid on. And they could do everything on their mobile device where they didn't have to go over to a table. And at that particular outing, there was no table. So it was very easy for them to view and convenient for them to bid. In addition to that, when we put the items in, Bobby, you said it, there could be a large array of items. So my client put in a few raffle baskets just to have a different variety. And maybe we started the bidding at a low number, like a $30 value. And she had people bidding from home. She even said to me that it was the most money she's ever raised at her golf outing silent auction. Truly amazing.
No, it's great. It's exciting. It's nice, of course, if you can get people that are not only at the event, but they're at home remotely. Especially during these times, they don't have to worry about having the mask on or having the social distancing in crowds. They can feel that comfortability. And then the people at the event obviously all took part in social distancing and were very careful. But like you said, they are out on the course. They're having a good time. They get an alert. It gives them a little something extra to do. Like I said, this has staying power because it's entertainment as well. Even when hopefully things get back to as normal as they're going to be without as much social distancing and masks and everything. It's still exciting. When you're out on the course, you get an alert, you get outbid, it's competitive. It gives you a little something else to do while you're golfing, you're talking to your buddies. It's a win-win and it's fun.
It is. It's ongoing also. There's not just one location where if they're out on the golf course, they can't see the items until they get back in and find the silent auction table. This is a way that they can just click on a link and open up those items wherever they are, locker room, golf course, at home. Maybe they had to leave the event. They know that the auction is ending at a certain time, and they can look at many of the beautiful items from Triple Crown Charity Fundraising. Some links here. If you've never heard of EventHub, we're on Instagram. It's EventHub Pro, and Facebook, EventHub Pro 1. That's EventHub Pro number 1. And Bobby, you can find him on Facebook also at Bobby Ross, and his Instagram account is Triple Crown Charity Fundraising, and you can see a lot of his great, unique items. Bobby, during this pandemic, you've become a pro at doing these virtual auctions, and just recently you did a Zoom live auction. How about that?
Yeah, it's something I've never really thought about doing, but being involved with one of the great charities that we're starting to support, Leukemia Lymphoma Society. They have their Men and Women of the Year event. That's an annual event, and on a couple of occasions now, we've set up a Zoom pretty much live auction, and it's nice. It's a gathering. You get people to come into a Zoom conferencing room, just like any other Zoom conference that you'd have. We set up at our store in Huntington a number of really nice items for people to look at. I'll usually have my iPad set up, and then my phone will be the camera for the items, give a little background, have some nice conversation about just life and sports, entertainment, or whatever the topics that people wanted to talk about. It's a non-pressurous, nice situation. Both of them probably lasted about an hour so far. It's a great way to have a nice interactive time and help raise money for a great charity, and a lot of laughs, a lot of just talking about how we really want sports back, want to get back to normal in so many ways of life. Had a great time doing it. I think I'm sure it'll be something that we'll be doing again, because people, again, could be remote in their house, relaxing. They jump on Zoom. They're able to buy a really nice gift for themselves or a loved one and support a great charity at the same time. So it really is a win-win.
Yeah, and you touched on it too. You never really thought you'd be doing something like this. Yeah, we have to rethink what we're doing, and a lot of us have. There's just, more convenience in doing some of these things virtually, and whether you're having an event or even not having an event, the fundraising has to continue, and that's where a lot of these things will fall into place for you. And again, if you need any help with your silent auction or live auction, Bobby Ross at Triple Crown Charity Fundraising is the best there is. Bobby, you also partner with Brian over at the toy store. I know that's been really challenging with the Cow Over the Moon toy store in Huntington with not being open. But how has that been as we're transitioning and coming out? You guys do a lot of online business too.
Sure. No, I appreciate you asking. With the whole pandemic, it's definitely thrown a massive curve to all the local brick and mortar stores, like Toy Store that we have right at 282 Main Street, right in Huntington, right in the middle of the village. For the majority of the pandemic, we had just been pretty much doing curbside, which somebody could call up. A lot of people buying puzzles. As you know, the puzzles, they take up a lot of great time. You can do them with family, and they're fun to do. A lot of puzzle sales. But, people could call up. We could bring the items outside to them. We do all free gift wrapping. If there were specific parties that people would have, especially the new advent of the drive-by honking parties in all the neighborhoods, but we pretty much kept communication with all of our customer base during that time doing curbside. We also do business through Amazon and through eBay, but there's nothing like having the store open. It was 2 weeks ago yesterday that we're fully open again, full hours, 7 days a week. Love seeing the customers. And we're just trying to get the word out. One of the most challenging things is I think there's always a lot of confusion with a lot of the businesses, people not knowing what's open and what's not open and what modifications. But the toy store is fully open now for over 2 weeks. And, anyone that's ever looking for any gifts or framing or toys, please come in anytime. We'd love to help you out.
And it's just got to feel good, just interacting again. Even social distancing is fine. But just the other day, I had my first face-to-face meeting at a country club, and it just kind of felt, it was different, of course, but it just felt right. It just felt more normal, getting back into communicating more on a personal level, more face-to-face than digitally. But again, with Zoom and all these digital platforms and the word virtual being out there, it's going to be something that we're going to see probably a combination of both moving forward.
Yeah, I definitely agree 100%. And it's going to be for multiple reasons. One, everyone has a different comfort level. As we know, there are people right now, if there were no laws with masks, they'd go out in groups and they'd feel fine. I wouldn't advise that. I just go by the laws, keep the masks on, do everything we can to get this number down to 0, and let's hopefully get a vaccine and beat this thing. But I'm just saying, everyone's got different comfort levels. Some people still don't want to, I'm sure, leave the house. Some people are comfortable going out shopping. Some people would rather have it delivered to their house. So like you said, I think it's going to be a mix for a long time until hopefully there's a vaccine or medication that can really treat this and not have people get sick to be on ventilators or go to hospitals and have it even more serious. So it's been a really, really rough time, but I definitely am much more confident than I was a month ago. And hopefully in another month, we'll be a lot more confident. Things will be easing up a little more and just keep going in the right direction.
Yeah, you can connect with Bobby on Facebook if you're looking to do a silent auction or live auction. It's Bobby Ross. And on Instagram, his company, Triple Crown Charity Fundraising. And if you're interested in doing a virtual auction, text-to-bid platform, the EventHub is the system that you definitely want to check out. You can contact us. Instagram is EventHub Pro. And Facebook is EventHub Pro 1. Let's talk about our advertiser. I usually record and edit this podcast in my home office. And when I work, I need to get in the zone. For me, I feel more productive when I wear a collared shirt, but you're crazy if you think I'm going to put on a heavy cotton button-down shirt. I need to be comfortable if I'm working for a long period of time. Recently, through a friend of mine, I got connected to this new brand called Tillinger. They make my new favorite polo shirt. It's soft, breathable, and uses higher quality performance fabric, so I'm more comfortable. Work in it, golf in it, play in it, anything you want. No logo either, so you don't look like you just got off the golf course. Right now, they're donating 10% of every purchase to COVID-19 relief. I can't recommend them enough. Their website is shoptillinger.com. That's shop, TILLINGER.com. Check them out. Bobby, I tell you, it's a great partnership that we've had with your company for years now, and we're always trying to evolve and provide better service both on your end and our end to help the charities raise money, because at the end of the day, that's what's most important.
Yeah, we love working with you guys, and it's a family atmosphere to be able to have the same mindset. And the one thing that'll never change is the care and the relationships and the love that we have for what we do and the people that we work with. And listen, you know what? There's had to be some pivoting. That's just all part of it, and it's going to make us all stronger in the end. The systems that you have with the check-in and the bidding, and just the great service that you guys cover from A to Z with event planning and with what we do with the auction fundraising. We're all going to be stronger than ever, and we're just excited about the future and just helping out as many great causes as possible.
Yeah, and we're moving into July now, into the middle of the summer, and we're starting to hear from clients, and clients are starting to book. And the virtual auction seems to be a very sought after item and hot topic. And they are discussing remote style check-in, virtual auction, doing something more digitally, something more convenient, something that provides a little less of a gathering at the event. And it's definitely a relevant topic now. I've definitely seen it, and I think that we're just getting at it at the right time. And it's not expensive at all. So it's something that we feel that the charities will raise more money, both with Triple Crown Charity Fundraising and EventHub.
Definitely. It's extremely more than reasonable, and it gives a great added value to the events, lets people bid remotely, lets people bid prior to the event, and it is a fraction of what the going rates for a lot of the bidding platforms are. Like I said, has extreme value, very, very user-friendly, obviously wonderful customer support with Larry and his whole crew. So it's going to be great.
Awesome, Bobby. Thank you. And I got to tell you, for a professional like you that does silent auctions constantly, and definitely before this all went down, but you have the ability to end the auction at a certain time. You also have the ability to communicate with your guests via text messaging when the auction will be ending, or a countdown, 15 more minutes. And I find, and you could probably agree with me, that when you're doing the silent auction, your standard silent auction, no one really knows when it ends. And we don't know when the program's going to be done and when the speeches are going to be finished. And there's sort of that, well, why don't we end it in 5 minutes from now? There never seems to be that final end time, where here, you can just put an end time, 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, or you can change it during the day to bump it up or move it back. And you can communicate with the guests as to when the auction is ending and when they need to get their bids in by and claim their prize.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. Like you said, it's adjustable if you needed to change something during the day, but it's also nice because if you're remote and you're not even at the event, you're getting all those really important notifications as well, and you're as much of a part of it as somebody who's at the event. It's super important. Yeah, I just think it adds another nice element to it, that people get the notification. It's exciting. They know it's ending. I think it's just another plus.
And using EventHub for your virtual auction, it can be very convenient for the guests. But speaking of convenience, working with Bobby and his company, Triple Crown Charity Fundraising, is convenient also. I mean, Bobby, when you work with these organizations, you're able to upload your items and their items, where you'll help them and take ownership of it as if it's your own bread and butter.
Absolutely. We take a lot of pride in any item that a charity gets that they're going to put in silent auction, that somebody donated to them. It's so important to make sure that those items are highlighted. And that's for multiple reasons. There's somebody that's nice enough to be able to give them the item, and you want to give them all the proper credit and make that item as successful as possible because somebody, out of their kindness of their heart, was able to donate it to them. And also at the same time, those items, the charity receives, all of the proceeds on those items, and we just want to help the bottom line out as much as possible. So we treat all items of the same importance. We like to spotlight the charity's items, and then we add our items to fill in the cracks and just round out the list. It's always worked very well, always very appreciated by the charities that we work with, our care about their items. It just helps our great relationships that we have with them.
Yeah, and the charities do really enjoy working with you and your team at Triple Crown Charity Fundraising. Again, you can find Bobby on Facebook at Bobby Ross. His Instagram account is Triple Crown Charity Fundraising. And Bobby, the EventHub is just an added bonus, an added feature that makes it much more convenient for people to bid, but it just adds another element for your company to provide this service. When the client is looking in the dashboard. They can see how much money they're raising while the auction is going on based upon the item's cost or no cost of the item. All that is factored in for them. So sort of takes the guesswork out of how much money are we raising tonight on our auction. You're not really sure. Well, you have that information instantly.
Yeah, it's a very smart system, very well done. There was obviously a tremendous amount of thought put into it on both the front end and the back end of it. Very user friendly, and there are a lot of great things that the client has access to looking at day of, to be able to see what are the current numbers, how is everything going, takes the guesswork out of it, see if there needs to be more announcements or more notifications. It just really helps them out very well. And that's one of the great things of the template and program that you guys have really brilliantly put together.
Again, if you never heard of EventHub, you can find us on Instagram at EventHub Pro and on Facebook at EventHub Pro 1. That's the number 1. Bobby, you and Triple Crown Charity Fundraising, I probably know the answer to this question, but what's one of the most important things that you miss about being in this pandemic and not being at an event these days?
It's definitely seeing the people. It's seeing you guys and your team, seeing the great organizations that we work with, seeing the people that year after year are supporting these great organizations, that personal physical contact. There's nothing better than that. But with programs like this, EventHub, the bidding and the check-in, we're trying our best to make everything as comfortable and as effective as possible. And little by little, there will be that personal contact again. And in addition, with these great programs added in there, you will get the best of both worlds. And just thinking about it, it's a crazy, crazy time on so many levels. But charity's really incredibly challenging time because they need the help and support more than ever now. And it's probably more challenging than ever to get it. So programs that we both have to offer and services that we can really give to charities will hopefully fill in the gap and help make the difference.
Yeah, it's a great point, Bobby. And I knew that was going to be your answer, was missing the people, because you're
Definitely.
a people person. And that's what you get when you work with Bobby Ross and his team at Triple Crown Charity Fundraising. And it's the blood, sweat, and tears. It's putting the time in, putting the effort in. And, you mentioned it about the system, about EventHub. Same thing there, to really come up with this perfect solution. And it's an ever-changing world. And that's why companies like yours and companies like ours, we really have to start thinking out of the box and start coming up with solutions to help these organizations, because the fundraising, it can't stop. It has to continue to help those less fortunate.
Definitely. And it really is truly needed more than ever now. And it's more challenging to get, but that's what we're here for.
Definitely are always there for your clients, and we love our partnership with you as well. Again, you can find Bobby at Facebook at Bobby Ross, and his Instagram account is Triple Crown Charity Fundraising. And EventHub for your check-in and virtual auction needs. Instagram is EventHub Pro and Facebook EventHub Pro 1. Again, it's a great partnership between the two, and it's something that you're interested in. We'd love to talk to you about it. We'll have all the links in our show notes so you can easily get in contact with us. But I think we just today wanted to shed a little light on the ever-changing world that we're living in right now, and the words virtual auction and what that actually means and how it can be executed and executed properly.
Well, that's great. I'm honored to be on a second time. I hope that there'll be a third time, and hopefully that third time we'll be back in person. Hopefully we could all stay healthy and strong and just keep having our great relationships with everyone that we work with. Keep it going, keep it growing. Just want the best for everyone.
Yeah, same here, Bobby. Feel the same way. And who knows, maybe we'll see you guys at the next virtual golf outing or gala or virtual auction or an actual event coming up at the end of the summer and into the fall. And hopefully we'll start coming out of this slowly, safely, and securely. So Thanks, everybody, for listening. Bobby, listen, thank you for spending time with us today and shedding a little light on what you're doing and what we're doing together to really be there for people and their fundraising needs in this ever-changing climate that we live in.
Well, thanks so much, Larry. I love being a part of it. Look forward to doing it again with you.
Same here. All right, be well. Ciao, ciao for now.
Thank you for listening to the Fairways in Fundraising podcast, powered by Gulf Event Planning. We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and please remember to subscribe, rate, and review.